Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it as one of two ways. I think a person should have... Okay, geez, what is happening here? What in the world?
Wow.
I think a person should have every legal right to tell you to stop filming them. Like, for example, if I'm at Walmart and someone shoves a camera in my face, and I say, like, please stop recording me, I think I should have every legal right to tell them that. And for them to actually stop.
The problem is you actually don't. Cause,
I'm saying I think I should.
Right, I'm just saying, like, you technically don't, because here's the other thing. The other problem is you're being recorded all the time.
Right, by security cameras and stuff like that.
Right, which is the other reason why I find it ironic. Because they're saying, like, you're recording customers, you're disrupting the peace. It's like you're recording all the customers right now.
Right.
All the time by default. They just don't think about it. You have the right to do that anywhere that you have a reasonable...
What? I thought I switched to my staff.
I think you might have switched back. Anywhere you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, you have the right to do that. So if I came into your home and I started recording you, or I came into your work office and started recording you...
Yeah.
But if it's a public place of trade, you don't have any reasonable expectation of privacy because you're in public.
Right.
Or a park or something.
What if my work office is in public?
That is an odd...
like for example, if my work is like Lowe's. Yeah, Lowe's is a public space, but it's technically my work.
You don't have a reasonable right of privacy because you chose to work there.
See, this is weird. This is like a weird thing to me.
It is weird, but no one put you at gunpoint and said work at Lowe's.
Well, no, but
you chose that.
Yeah, but I think people should have the right to not have a camera shoved in their face if they don't want it.
Right, but I don't want to be recorded when I go to Target by security cameras. I'm not going to steal anything.
Sure.
But, like, they're not going to turn it off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm just saying that if one is okay, why isn't the other one?
Right.
Like, if I... As long as... So, when it crosses to harassment, that's where I agree with you. Because if you're shoving a camera in someone's face, like, you're talking about, like, I'm being like, look at this dumbass, and like, hey!
Right.
Okay, well, that's harassment. That's against the law.
Well, and I'm also talking about people that shove cameras in faces and try to bait them into stuff. Like, what do you think on Trump? Do you like Trump? And then, like, get their reaction or something. I
also think that that's harassment.
Because that to me is like, okay, but maybe this person doesn't want to deal with you.
Right, so if you say, leave me alone, and they continue, that is harassment.
Okay.
So I agree with you.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, if you are trying to make the point of, like, I should have the right to not be recorded at all...
Yeah.
You just don't in America.
Right.
In anywhere that's deemed like public enough, which is like such a weird...
Does this include people under 18? Like I'm not talking like weirdly, but like let's say if I'm recording like in Target and I happen to get someone who's under 18 in my video.
The laws are more strict around them, but like still pretty loose in terms of if it's a place where public where like they are out in public and they're not expecting privacy. It leans more in the favor of the kid, though. Okay. That's why people blur kids' faces out of their videos if they're in public.
They just probably don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm also not like the ultra expert on this. I have researched it some because I find the laws like oddly hypocritical.
Yeah.
But to me, all I was saying was I agree if someone's harassing you, but like by your logic, I also don't want a bunch of security cameras recording me.
Sure.
Like I don't want to go in self-checkout and have a camera right in my face showing me, hey, we're watching in case you steal something, because like I just find that obnoxious. Now, I've never stolen anything from stores. I don't steal stuff.
Right.
Like that's just something I don't do. And it's never like, even like when I was a teenager, that's just never been a part of like my thing is like, let's see what I can shoplift today. Like that's not my thing.
Right.
I don't think that's worth the risk, and honestly I just feel bad. But I don't like that. But like I don't have any right to ask them to stop recording me. Like if I did, they'd laugh and say, if you don't like it, you can leave. There's a billion other customers who like it. Or who don't care.
Like it?
Who don't care.
Man, I love being recorded.
Well, like, I think it makes some people feel safe, and the rest of people don't care.
Right.
You know? Like, so that's the problem, is, like, everybody's on board with it. So if I'm not on board with it, I can just leave.
Right.
And that's their logic.
Well, and their other logic is, well, this is our business, not yours.
Right, and we have to do loss
so
prevention.
So we can put this in here if we want it in here.
And then you don't have to shop here.
Right.
Although that's the same thing with, like, what you were saying about what if I work there? Well, you don't have to work there.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have that same thing, it's just weirdly hypocritical to me that they will be recording people 24/7 in the building, but some asshole brings in an iPhone and it's like DEFCON 5.
Right.
It's like you've destroyed the world here.
Well, and we mainly see this in, like, GameStop employees.
Right.
If you see on, like, TikTok, someone brings a camera, like, get out of here, I'm calling the cops! And it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's really weird. It also makes your business look bad.
Yeah.
Because it makes you look like you... I don't want to say are a buzzkill, because that's weird. Because, like, you shouldn't have to be, like, the clown at work. But it makes you come off like you can't handle minor pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole thing is going to get so weird, though, because you and I both know within 10 years, anybody will be able to wear a cheap, less than $100 pair of fake glasses with a camera on it that you can't see the camera.
Yeah, and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Because, or that's even there.
Because, like, I could just be walking through, I use Target as an example because it's, like, just a store I go to a lot. I could be walking through Target and be like...
Here.
Hey! Oh, okay.
Oh, geez, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It was better than me, so...
We also left me with, like, nothing.
Mimic tear.
I could be walking through Target and be like, hey, guys, what's up? Today we're at Target. And I could be muttering to myself and have, like, some kind of mental disorder. Or I could be recording, like, with my glasses.
Right.
And right now you'd see that. Like, it would be obvious, but in, like, 10 years it won't be. Like, it'll be hard to tell.
Yeah, because there will be, like, the eyeglasses coming out.
And there will be, like, hidden cameras that are so small that people can't see them.
Yeah.
Because that's already kind of a thing.
Who is this guy?
Well, we've already fought some of these.
We fought this guy that, like, is Mr. Fantastic here?
Once, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I made a mistake.
Jeez. Sorry, I, like, threw you into that.
That's okay.
I just saw boss and I instantly got terrified.
I don't know why I, like, pushed the boss. That was just a dumb decision on my end.
Basically all I was going to say is the camera laws are just very confusing to me because it kind of seems... This is going to sound like a very weird comparison, but it's kind of my same opinions on self-defense laws, where it seems like... It really just seems like I don't know what the rules are. Because every state has different rules on it, every state has different things on it. Why can't you go in there? I think you have to probably go in the way I did. It seems like every state's just different, and it also kind of seems like the laws on being recorded change depending on what you are in, if that makes sense. Like, for example, you're in Target, so the laws are different in Target than if you're in a park. Or, the laws here are different because of now you're recording someone who is 19 years old instead of someone who is 17 and a half. It's just like... And my only thing with what I meant by that is sometimes you can't tell the difference between a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old and 364 days old person.
I know.
So it's like...
Well, a lot of those rules around people and, like, consent of, like, recording.
Yeah.
Or even sexual stuff. It's very odd. And most of the time, I would say, like, most adults aren't even attracted to someone who looks like they could be...
And I'm not even talking about attraction. I'm talking, like, let's say I go into Target and I'm recording someone. And maybe it's for a TikTok or something, like I'm trying to meme or something. And the person's like, well, actually, I'm 17, so you're being illegal. It's like, well, how was I supposed to know this?
Right, you're supposed to card them.
Well, yeah, and it's... I don't know, I guess my thing with being recorded is... The laws on them are kind of weird because the laws on them should not be really what they are. If that makes sense. Like, I kind of think... I think everyone, yes, has the right to... Now, how come you only have half down? Oh, someone behind you! I think everyone does have the right to privacy, but I also think people don't have the right to not be recorded, if that makes sense, if you're in a public space.
Right, because if you have that, like, imagine I went to Comic-Con and one guy out of 1,000 people said, turn that off.
Well, yeah. And
that's a little stupid.
It is. And that's where I kind of think my opinions on it are nice. We got a trophy there. I think my opinions on it are kind of weird because my opinions on it are both sides make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone, I think, has the right to privacy. Like, if someone shoved a camera in my face, I think I should have the right to tell them, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I don't want to be recorded here.
Yeah, and I don't disagree.
But at the same time, I also think if someone's out in public, then you should have this understanding that you can be recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can be recorded. That's the whole thing. Is I don't think, like, we need to just ban all cameras of all kind. It's you should just have this understanding that there might be a camera set up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a weird thing where to me, it's just, it makes me more confused, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And that's what I was talking about the self-defense thing is, every time someone talks about self-defense laws, it's like, it just makes me more confused. Because then it's all these, like, stipulations and rules of, like, well, this works, but that doesn't work, and you have to be in this scenario, and you have to do this thing first, and it's just kind of like, what is the rule here?
Or it works in this state, but not in this state.
Yeah, and it's like, and I'm just like, what is the rule? Like, because to me it seems like a bunch of checklists before you go into stuff like self-defense. Like, you have to fill out this checklist. Like, well, you have to do this step first. Yeah, then you have to do this, then you have to do this.
Especially in Minnesota, where it's like you have to make a best effort to escape.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what does that mean?
And who's going to prove that? Like, are you going to come in and reenact it with a real gun?
Well, yeah.
Because you're not going to know the pressure I was under.
No.
Like, so say I'm in, like, my bedroom.
Right.
And it's like, well, let's say I could have gone out the window, maybe.
Right.
But if I did that, I'm turning my back on the intruder and I could die.
Right.
Did I not make my best attempt to leave because I didn't do that?
Or if your room is on the second floor, you could jump out the window and literally break your legs.
But did I not make my best attempt to do that? Because I'd live and probably be fine.
Right.
Even though I'd be severely hurt.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, is the law expecting you to try and, like, is the law expecting you to put yourself in a situation that you could break your legs?
I think in Minnesota it comes down to who it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to just straight up say this. If you are a certain group of people, like a certain skin color,
mm-hmm.
and you break into a house, and someone shoots you here now, considering everything that has happened in the last few years in Minnesota,
yeah,
I think the person doing the shooting is way more likely to get in trouble.
Right.
Now, in the past, it was the opposite. It'd be like, oh, who cares?
Right.
And that's horrible, too. But, like, I don't think either way is really based in any kind of, like, logic or reasoned out thing. I think it's based on, like, oh, shit, like, what makes the Twin Cities government look bad? Let's do the other thing.
Yeah.
You know? But that's what they've been doing for the last few years since everything that happened with, like, I feel like I can just say the name, like, with George Floyd.
Right.
Like, I don't think it's really bad to say. Like, is that the United States, or not the United States government, the United States government has no idea what to do about it.
Right.
But the Minnesota government has even less of an idea of what to do about it because they got thrown into, like, the mix of, like, wow, the Minneapolis police, on average, have been kind of bad for a long time, and we never did anything about it, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What a shock. And then, you know, it makes them look terrible. And so now it's like they're doing everything they can. Like, how do we make our government not look like incompetent morons?
Yeah, so then they do the complete opposite. Like, well, look at us, hey, look at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know where Alexander is. I don't know where to...
So, there's a couple things we can do here. We have 2 talismans defined in the Crumbling Fair Missoula, which we need, it looks like... Wait a minute. Oh, it looks like one of those talismans, we can find here. The other one we have to do after we beat the Fair Missoula. We can also, but it looks like we can't get those yet. We have to go on more. We also have to beat Burn Hall and pick up his Devourer's Scepter, which is the last legendary armament for us to do.
Wasn't Bernhal that knight who was, like, at the lava place?
Yeah, so we're going to get invaded by him here. And I technically know on the map where those are.
Well, that's good. I just don't know where to go yet.
Yeah, so what if you go back to the Godskin Duo battle arena? And then... maybe... well, if you pull up your map. Because you kind of have to go... it looks like you have to go back and around and up around there.
Because, like, when I go this way... I was going to show you, there's... this is the way I went where there isn't really anything. Actually, in fact, if you want to look around... I'd appreciate that. Yeah, no, basically what I'm saying is, like, I think a lot of these laws are written vague on purpose.
Right.
So that the government can enforce it however they want. And I think that's wrong. Like, I don't think laws should be tools to bash people with. They should be something that protects people, right?
Right.
And me, personally, all laws, I think all laws, should be there for the protection of citizens.
Yes.
Whether that's financial, or physical, or whatever. So, like, stopping fraud, financial, protection. Now, we get into some weird territory when people... I don't know if I saw this, because I'm stupid. We get into some weird territory when people are like, well, what about emotional damages? Like, people shouldn't be able to hurt my feelings. It's like, I don't really agree with that. But I do think they shouldn't be able to harass you, which is in that same vein. Or like, purposely, harass you, or stalk you. Because you can stalk someone and never touch them.
Well, yeah, and that's wrong.
Right, exactly. And you still should protect people from that. I don't think you should protect people with, like, compulsory speech, like you have to use these pronouns, or you have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do this or that. I don't think that's good. But I think that, like, up to where it impedes on other freedoms, but from the Constitution, like the First Amendment and stuff, you also need to protect your citizens. The point I'm getting to is I don't, and please make it make sense to me, because maybe there's some historical way you can. I don't see how a lot of laws in this country are designed to protect the citizens. I don't see how a lot of laws in this country have any benefit at all. In fact, a law like that, like in Minnesota, make the best attempt to flee.
Oh no!
Who is this protecting? The intruder? Why are we making laws to protect the home intruder?
Well,
because we don't want people to, like, bloodthirstily... Okay, well, they're not going to bloodthirstily kill someone.
Right.
Obviously, the idea is not, hey, Nick, come over for lunch. Bam, bam, you're dead. Right. Like, that's not the idea, because then I lured you there and murdered you. That's already against the law. So why is that law there? The make the best attempt to flee. One, why should you have to if it's your property?
Right.
If Target can kick you out or call the cops on you for recording or something... how come I can't shoot you if you come into my house to possibly murder my family?
Right, it doesn't make sense.
No, who's that law protecting? It's only protecting the home intruder. So for me, from my stance of laws should be here just to protect our citizens, why is there this law that is designed to only protect someone who is bastardizing and not following the law? It would be like if I made a law to protect someone who's a scam artist.
Right, it's like why are they getting protected?
Right, why aren't their victims getting protected? Which is what the whole Second Amendment type defend your home thing was supposed to be. Defense of self.
Right.
Protect the citizen. The other citizen, I believe, forfeits a lot of those rights when they enter your home with the intention to either take all of your stuff that you worked for, which, if we're allowing that, undermines the entire economy. Mm-hmm. Because if you just allow... like, if I'm just allowed to walk willy-nilly into your house and steal the TV that you and your wife had to save up for like, months in order to get a nice new TV, you now have no incentive to work hard in America because some jackass can just come in and take everything. Like, that ruins our economic system. It ruins the idea of, like, pull yourself up by the bootstraps because you have no reason to, because somebody else can unfairly just come take it.
Right.
Now you have no reason to work hard. That destroys our entire country and everything, the capitalism of it, stands for. So why are we allowing this and then punishing? And that's just with like theft. When people enter my home, like if someone comes into my home, I'm assuming you're probably there to hurt me.
Well, that's a fair assumption.
It's pretty obvious I'm home, you know? Like, it's not like a secret. Like, oh, who's here? I can't tell. This is abandoned. Like, my house doesn't look abandoned. There's cars in the driveway.
Oh, jeez. What the heck?
Jeez. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm making the assumption you're here to hurt me.
Well, and that's
logical.
That kind of goes back to my entire point that I've been making for months, is like, how come America has gotten to the point where we are defending criminals? And this goes for anything. Like, it goes for the self-defense laws. It goes for anything. You know, you see all these people that, like, steal from Walmart or something like that. And what does everyone say online instantly? Well, Walmart has insurance. Oh, that's okay. Walmart doesn't pay their employees well. And I'm kind of like, okay, but they're still criminals.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. I don't care what Walmart does. Why are we sitting around here saying, well, the theft is okay because
it happened here.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's the entire thing is.
Do you remember this with PewDiePie when his house got robbed in Japan and people said, "Oh yeah, I don't like that guy. He's racist."
Yes,
do you remember this?
I do remember that.
And so it was like, oh well, the law of like defense and you know, feeling safe in your own home and not having your items stolen only applies if you're someone I don't deem racist.
Well, yeah, and that's
basically
stupid.
if I like you, the laws apply to protect you, and if I don't like you, they don't.
And that's stupid.
Yeah,
it's like we should,
it's beyond brain dead.
Well, yeah, it's like I don't understand where as a society we started defending criminal behavior. I don't understand why that's a thing.
Can I mention while criminalizing things that don't matter?
Yeah.
Like for example, like it'll be like, oh, like some drunk driver. Now this is stupid, obviously to do. I'm not defending it, but like some drunk driver will get less protections than a home intruder.
Yeah.
Or like some guy who's smoking weed, like where they shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. You know, that kind of stuff. That's not really like the weed thing, especially. I would say the drunk driver thing is hurting other people, but
right.
The weed thing, I think, is a better example of this than my stupid example, which I'll admit was not a good example. Like, you and I don't like the smell of that, right? Mm-hmm. It's obnoxious. When we notice that smell, like, reeking from people when we go to the store, we have a laugh at their expense to each other.
Right.
Because it just comes off deadbeatish to us. But I don't think they should be, like, tackled by the bomb squad on site.
No, absolutely
because they
not.
were smoking some stupid plant at their house or whatever. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these laws should be there to protect. So it's like we're criminalizing some guy smoking a plant.
Right.
We're criminalizing some guy burning a plant.
Right.
But we're protecting a home intruder.
I don't get it. And then,
you get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What is happening here?
And then people go on some rants about, like, well, the person just tried to steal your TV. How do you know that?
Yeah, who are you to...
Really?
And if you're saying I can't assume their intent is to hurt me, who are you to assume their intent isn't?
Right.
Like, why is your assumption inherently good and mine's inherently bad?
It makes no sense to me.
No, it
makes zero sense to me.
Didn't that guy just die?
This guy... No, it's a second guy.
Oh, no.
Who is sniping me?
I don't know. Get in the doorway.
Let's just do this.
I know that that's like an inherently almost political discussion, but like...
It shouldn't be.
It has nothing to do with like Democrats or Republicans or whatever. What it has to do with is common sense.
Right.
Like, if a Republican was like to me, like let's say I'm the hardest core alt-right guy of all time. If some Republican was like, oh, by the way, we should defend home intruders, I would also say you're an idiot. Or like if I was the hardest left-leaning person of all time. This is the guy. If some left-leaning person said to me, like, we should defend home intruders, I'd also think they're an idiot. I don't care, like, where you fall on anything. Mm-hmm. That's a dumb take.
Right. Well, and I think we should... I think protection of home intruders... I partially agree with protection of home intruders. I don't agree that, like, someone could break into my house and I could tie him up for 6 days and execute him after brutally torturing him.
Right, well, that's a crime. That's like crimes against humanity stuff.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, to that point, sure, I'm all for protecting them. But, like, what are... You know, it's like, why... I don't understand why we're sitting around here like, well, the person's trying to steal my TV. Okay, even if that's all they were doing, why should they be allowed to steal my TV? Why should they be allowed to break down my door or break open my window, which I have to pay for, by the way, and then just go in here and steal my $700 TV?
You might use your torch.
Why should that be a thing?
Well, right, because that undermines, like I said, our whole economy.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see people with no, you can see this. Go to neighborhoods where there's tons of crime and break-ins, and people don't have as nice as stuff.
Yeah, because why would they?
Yeah, why would they invest in that?
Right.
It's just going to be taken from them. So then they don't have as much of an incentive to work hard. The incentive they have is to keep the roof over their head.
Right.
So then a lot of these people, and I'm not targeting any specific race, it just so happens that unfortunately due to after slavery and other stuff, a lot of people end up in poor areas were black, and it stayed that way. But there are white people there too and all kinds of other people. But when you get into poverty areas, people often don't have as good as stuff, not just because they're in poverty, but also because they don't have an incentive to try and save up and get some nice thing if they just know someone will take it.
Right.
They just don't have, like, why would you?
Oh,
I wouldn't.
No.
Like, if I knew tomorrow, like, oh, I'm going to buy a Nintendo DS that has, like, the Pikachu face on it. It's like a collectible. But someone will steal it. I'm not going to buy that.
No, why would you?
It's stupid. Like, that's dumb. Why would I? Yeah, I don't know. So, like, it undermines absolutely everything. Did you just run away?
I did, because I don't want to deal with them.
Do you want me to deal with them?
Well, I was also partially looking, because there was this whole area of the map over here that we had not gone to yet.
Right, but I thought that you had to go that way to get there. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it looks like you can go up that thing.
Yeah. Well, there's this area, and then there's another whole area that down here.
Are we going to remember that other place?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to see what was at the base of the stairs here, because I didn't go down here.
That's a scary looking dude. Yeah, I don't know. That home intruder thing pisses me off. I don't know if you can tell.
Well, it pisses me off, too, and do you want to know why it pisses me off? Is because I'm a pretty normal guy. Like, I mean, you know me. Like, I'm a pretty normal guy. I go to work, I go home, I kind of do my thing in life.
Yeah, occasionally you take, like, a minority life, or...
Like, occasionally. Only occasionally, though.
Or you go
only
after women for some kind of women's rights issues.
Right,
or,
that... Okay.
I mean, your very nefarious scheme of pretending to be a cancer doctor and telling women they have breast cancer just so that you can remove their breasts and then say gotcha is pretty messed up, but it's something you only do on weekends.
It only happens on weekends, so it should be fine.
I agree.
But it's like, I'm a pretty normal guy, right? If someone breaks into my house tomorrow at night at like 3 in the morning and like decides to bust my door down and whatever, and I decide to defend myself and defend my wife, right? I could literally go to prison.
There's an item right under you, so stop and turn... Oh wait, maybe it's one level down more. No, like it might be one further.
Oh, like over here?
Yeah, sorry. I saw an item at the bottom of one of these things.
I guess my point is, like, I should not be in prison. Oh, down there, you mean?
Oh, jeez.
Let's
come back to it.
Okay. And I guess my point is I should not be in prison because I'm not the type of person that belongs in prison. I'm a pretty normal dude.
Right.
Like, I don't do anything.
Well, again, it's like when we put weed smokers in, like, prison.
It's stupid.
With
like,
violent
it's
criminals.
Dumb. It's just stupid. It's like, why is this person in prison when there's so many other people that should be in prison?